I mean, obviously you have the reception that you kind of see online, but seeing the reception from the kids over the last day, what has that been like?
I mean, it's been great. You know, they've had a lot of energy and just excited. You know, a lot of them, as soon as I walked in yesterday, it was like, my bad, I mean, it's your mic.
I'm out of practice.
They all walked up and was like, man, you back, you know. So they was all excited about it. Last year when I did camp and I wasn't on the team, that was like the main question they all kept asking, like, are you going to come back? Are you going to come back? And I didn't see it happening this soon, so I was like, maybe one day, but you know, it happened a lot sooner, so they have been excited.
Jersey Day today, but pretty cool to see. A lot of kids kept that letter O in the black and red, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like I was here for a year or two. You know, a lot of these kids have had these jerseys for a long time. So, I mean, it wasn't a surprise, but I think due to the circumstances, a lot of them, you know, have worn their jerseys today.
And making sure this camp is still accessible for so many, too. Your Respect Schools got scholarships kids here, BPI, Special Olympics here with the Unified Partners. Why is that important to you to still make this an accessible camp for so many kids to come in here?
Because I wanted to be the type of experience that all kids can remember. You know, I know everybody isn't fortunate enough to afford what it costs, but I mean, the camp coaches that we hire, the time that we put into it, I'm here all day. You know, we got to be able to compensate people properly so that they invest into it the way I want them to for it to be a quality camp. So even with that being said, I still want it to be accessible, like you said, for everybody. So we do a lot of scholarships, like you said, Black Parent Initiative, SEI, through my Respect program, and many other people that I just might know somebody that want their kid to come to camp, and I might just have at least 20 kids where I'm like, just bring them, and when they check in, I'll be out in the back, and I'll just get them on the list and get them on the team. So, I mean, we do a lot of that stuff so that all kids are, you know, able to have the experience.
How tough is it for you to this year not be able to participate in some of the on-court stuff with the kids because of the injury?
I mean, it's different because I'm usually just so involved. You know, I demonstrate a lot of the drills. A lot of times it's a segment with me specifically for about an hour or two toward the end of camp where I'm able to get on the court and show them specific things, and I kind of do it in a way where like I'm working out in front of them. I think another big part of camp is like I usually get here at 7 o'clock, and when they all come in, I'm toward the end of my workout and they get to see my last 30 minutes. So it's just not doing so much talking and demonstrating, but they are able to see a real example, you know, of how I train and what I put into it. So those parts of it I haven't been able to do, but you know, I still think there's a lot of ways that I can make it a quality camp still.
Does this year's camp make it, you know, this year's iteration, does it make it a little bit more special considering you back in a Trailblazers uniform? I mean, what's the feeling like considering you actually back in town as a player?
I mean, honestly, it was only one camp that I wasn't in a Trailblazer uniform. It was like one summer that I wasn't on the team. But I think it makes it special just because of, like I said, everything that's taken place over the last week, you know, just being back here after being here for over a decade and then kind of being on a new team for 2 years and it being so unexpected, you know, every part of the whole situation was just unexpected, and it just happened so fast that, you know, even the parents and outside of the campers are just like, you can just feel the energy, you know, the people are excited and more than anything just happy, you know, to have me back here.
That video of you walking into the locker room has gone pretty viral. Can you just kind of explain the emotions that were going through you as you walked in there?
Yeah, it was just a great feeling. You know, it felt very familiar. I don't know, in my adulthood, I haven't had. It's been pretty consistent, you know, pretty stable in everything that I've done. So like being here for so long and then being in Milwaukee for 2 years, and it just wasn't, you know, that type of feeling. You know, I had a good 2 years, you know, a great organization. Everything was done proper, and, you know, it was a good situation. I think it just wasn't what my full adulthood and my career had been, you know, like this is where I built my life and my home and everything. So walking back through those doors and walking back to my locker was just like, you know, these types of things just don't happen in the NBA. So having that experience, you know, you know, I wouldn't say I was overwhelmed, but I was like, I guess, feeling a lot of emotions because of that. You know, like, man, it's really, I never wanted to leave to begin with. So now that it's happening like this, it was just like, man, this is almost too good to be true.
Has this felt like a crazy busy week for you, going from the signing to the presser to the camp the very next day?
Yeah, like I said, it all happened really fast. And, you know, I feel like by the time I get home the last 3 or 4 days, it's like almost time to go to bed. You know, I got to put my kids down, eat, take a shower, and then I get in my bed and I want to watch TV or something, but I just end up asleep. And then the next day is here and I got to get going again. So I haven't really even had the time to kind of sit back and even take in everything that's taking place. So days happening fast right now.
The number one thing that I think fans have wanted to know since the news broke that you were coming back, are you going to get out to the coast finally?
What's funny is I was doing rehab, and my PT, who I've been with for years, he was like talking about going out to the coast and with his wife and all of that, and I was just like, I guess now that like it happened this way, I guess I should probably get out to the coast and just have that experience since I haven't done it yet. So I'm definitely planning on doing it. I might as well, man. So.
One thing we didn't get to at the press conference, your thoughts on Jrue Holiday and that signing and being a teammate of his after playing against him so many times.
Man, that's one of the things that I'm extremely excited about because I think obviously I'm going to bring experience and leadership and just a vet who's been on the floor. You know, I've done it for a long time, but being able to play alongside another guard that's similar, you know, has won 2 championships, has a lot of experience. He's been an all-star in the NBA. He's been around a long time. And his personality, you know, who he is, I think it'll be great for the team, especially combined with what I'll bring to the team because of those same reasons. And I remember when he was leaving New Orleans, like me and him we talked about him coming here. Like that was like a real discussion. Like we was like trying hard. So I've always been a fan of Jrue. I've always wanted to play with him. I think we'll play well beside each other. And, you know, once he came here, I was like, man, he was like, can I wear your number? But he was joking. I was like, nah, you can't wear my number. And it was just like a joke. But then, like, as soon as I was waived, and obviously he knows that I live here and built my home here and stuff, so he just like sent me the eyeball emoji, and I kind of knew already, like I already knew where I was pivoting to when he sent it, but I just didn't want to say nothing too soon, and here we are. So.
And you played with him on the Olympic team too.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he the one that told you had to get the core surgery? Wasn't he the one that was like, he had that and?
Yeah, we talked about it like during the Olympics because I was trying to explain to everybody because I couldn't practice once we got to Tokyo because it was just killing me. And he was just like, yeah, like it's gonna stay that way. Like we talked about it for like every day. We'd sit there and talk about it, and that was kind of what pushed me to say like, all right, eventually I'm gonna have to do it.
Not surprising after that Pelican series that you were interested in teaming up with him because yeah, man, I still got a lot of feelings about that one.
Yeah, that was like one of the more like hurtful moments of my career. You know, just like ultimately it was a moment that. You know, I had already been an all-star a few times, and I think I was first team that year, actually. I think I was first team All-NBA that year, but that was a turning point in my career where, you know, you reach that point where it's like, are you going to take another step and, you know, make another leap, or are you just going to, like, stay in that space? And I made my mind up, and I did, you know, all of the things that I need to do, and the next year I, you know, made another jump, but that series and that moment definitely played a significant part in me, you know, growing a little bit more after that.
There was a report that you actually reached out to Jrue after he got traded to Portland and spoke like fondly of the franchise. Is that true, and what was that conversation like?
Yeah, he was, because when I lived in Milwaukee, I rented his house for 2 years. So I actually had been renting his house for the last 2 years. So we talked a lot. Like I was complaining to him about the Wi-Fi. Like it's a clip online of like, I shake his hand. We played them in Boston, and we had an interaction, and people was like, "Well," and we was literally talking about his Wi-Fi at his house. So, he reached out just about like areas like to live in and stuff like that, and a little bit about the organization. And I told him like I love Portland. I live in Portland. My family's in Portland, and it's a place when people come here to play. It's probably raining. They're here for a night. It's gray skies. You don't really see much. I was like, but I'm from California, and I've been living here for the last 13 years. So, I think once you get here and you get on the ground, you learn to like it or love it in my case. So that was kind of what I shared with him.